Welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you can always expect the unexpected. We have with us a truly remarkable artist. You'll know him from his many successful projects, and today we're traveling back to his roots, where his musical career began in a band called Finny Tribe. Finny Tribe has a compilation retrospective titled "The Sheer Action of Finny Tribe, 1982-1987," releasing October 10th. Today we have this the pleasure of speaking with Christopher Connelly. Chris,
Hello,
thank you for being here.
of course.
So, Finny Tribe is a legendary band to the Edinburgh music scene. Can you take us back to the beginning and how it was formed?
Yeah, I started the band, I suppose, about 1980. And it was just, it was me and two of my friends. And we didn't really know what we wanted to do. I was really into Throbbing Gristle at the time. Well, I still am.
Yeah.
And so, we were using tape loops and things like that, but we were very young. Um, that's how the band started. It started as a three-piece, and as we sort of discovered what we wanted to do or what we wanted to play, we added more people. And so by the time 1982 rolled around, it was a six piece and it remained a six piece until 1987. So there was 5 years where we were a six piece. Um, and we were very informed by the music of the day. The music of the day was really great in terms of independent music. There was
Mhm.
bands like the Pop Group and bands like Wire and A Certain Ratio, who were all hugely influential in us, especially rhythmically.
Yeah.
The drummer for Finny Tribe, Simon, is, definitely one of the best drummers I've ever played with. And listening back to the stuff we did back then, I mean, we were all kids. We were all still in high school. Simon was 14 when he laid down a lot of these rhythms, and they're just so tight and so good.
Yeah.
Um, and so we learned together, really. It was a band that we never really had um an aim that we were following. And we also really didn't want to sound like anyone else. We tried very hard to do our own thing. And it was us in a rehearsal space just going over, and we rehearsed a lot. And you can tell, I mean, it's almost a joke how much we rehearsed just to get as tight as we possibly could. There's a John Peel session on the retrospective, and we were so scared and so nervous. You can hear how fast we're playing, but we are razor sharp tight. Um, so yeah, rehearsals were really important. So that was the early days. I mean, we were in high school and going to gigs and going to clubs and things like that, and just checking out music. We were, like I said, we're into all this independent music, but also like the clubs at that time were playing a lot of things like James Brown. Funk was very important. It made a huge comeback really into the club scene in the 1980s, basically because everything was so miserable in the UK at that time, I think.
Yeah.
People wanted to dance, and so James Brown and Chic were really popular, and more
Yeah.
underground dance stuff from New York as well.
So, Chris, it blows my mind that in my high school days, I had you on homemade tapes, recorded from the radio, not even knowing who the bands were, not knowing what the songs were. Just knew that the music spoke to me and my friends. We would trade these tapes around and everything. And that voice, your voice, has been in my head for a very, very long time. It's like a ghost that connects just all kinds of memories through the different projects you've been on. It's only really been this week that I found a couple of tracks that I now have a name to and know who they were. Things that I literally thought may have been a dream, but it was not a
Really?
dream. Adults Absolved, for instance.
Oh, right.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that one used to haunt me, man. I just It's such a great track. And curling theme, your voice on
Oh,
there, your distinctive voice on there.
that's not me.
And that's not you?
No, that's Davey from the band. Davey was
Oh
a,
my God.
yeah, blank men crave. I
Yeah.
sing backing vocals, but that's Davey's lead vocal and
Okay.
lyrics. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Um, uh,
So
but yeah, these are really deep cuts, I guess, from a
yeah,
very long time ago.
very long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Listening to this stuff, your amazing cover of Can's I Want More.
yeah.
These things, I don't know. I wish I could have been aware and in a position back then to have caught some early Finny Tribe shows. I understand they were off the chain, and the same way I really wish I could have been there to see some of the first Virgin Prune shows.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
know, it's
the live thing was very important to us. We rehearsed, but we I'm not saying we were impatient or we got bored necessarily, but we had it was really important for us to change things.
yeah,
So often we didn't play that many gigs, and often we would play brand new set lists. Like we'd write new songs and think, well, okay, it's time to play a concert, play a show.
yeah,
Unless we got invited to play, which did happen. But then
yeah,
we needed to move into performance because we started getting tired of the live music format for rock bands, I suppose, using that term loosely.
yeah.
But it wasn't like we have to be different. It was just like, well, we have this stage. What can we do with it? And we weren't
Right.
just influenced by music. We were really informed by, especially Andy from the band who did the cover of the compilation. I mean,
Yeah,
he has always been a very strong visual artist, and so we wanted to bring that into the performances as well
yeah,
to make them
yeah.
more
No,
interesting and dangerous.
I yeah, it is the whole culmination of the arts. Those were the bands I kind of gravitated towards myself. Anybody that could draw their own cover kind of thing, and yeah, I man. So we were looking for some early Finny Tribe Live stuff on online. Couldn't find any. Is
No.
there any chance any of them ever got recorded?
No, and I mean, before the compilation happened, we did a really, really deep search for anyone who'd perhaps filmed anything. And,
Yeah.
we we went to we found some guy in Spain just by looking at a photograph of a performance. There's someone in the crowd with a video camera,
Oh
and we
wow.
managed to find out who that was. And that person says, maybe I do somewhere, but I don't think so.
Oh
This
wow.
is 40 years later,
Yeah. Yeah.
and if Finny Tribe had been around now, it would be different. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm pretty glad in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that there's a mystique attached to it, and it's we rely on our own memories really in the
Yeah.
photographs
It
to bring
it
it to
it
life.
it, it plunges you much deeper into legend that way. Honestly, in
Yeah,
my
nobody had
it's kind of
phones
cool.
out.
Yeah. So, can you tell us more about the music you grew up with? The music scene you grew up with?
Yeah, after very quickly after punk was established, I mean, that was the line in the dirt, if you like,
Mhm.
Um, the bands came fast and furious. We all listened to the John Peel show, and if you don't know what the John Peel show
Oh yeah.
is, um, it was a nightly during the week, for the most part, radio show where he would have sessions. He would play reggae.
Yeah.
Every like third or fourth track would be a reggae cut. He'd play music like The Fall. Um, these were all very important things for us, and
Yeah.
we picked up on it really quickly. I remember that was the first time I heard Suicide, Frankie
Oh
Teardrop,
wow. Yeah. Yeah.
The Resident, Satisfaction, and Throbbing Gristle's Hamburger Lady. I hold these up as probably the three most
Oh
important
wow.
songs in my life.
Man.
They changed everything for a lot of people. You were
Yeah.
suddenly hearing records that punk was great, but it was a bright, shining light and it was just a lot of it was accelerated
Yeah.
rock music, and it was fantastic. But what was so great about it is that it changed so quickly, and a lot of the purveyors of that music, like Wire,
Yeah.
were after 1 2 XU, they moved on and started getting really experimental really
Yeah.
fast. It didn't take
Yeah.
them 4 albums, it took them one album,
One album. Yeah.
you know, and
A
suddenly you're
fantastic
listening
band.
to
One of my
Chairs
all-time
Missing.
favorites. Yeah.
And how lucky were we to in 78 have like Meet the Residents, Chairs
Oh
Missing,
my God.
DOA by Throbbing Gristle, and all this insane dub music. We loved reggae as well because
Yeah.
in Edinburgh there was a club called the Ital Club. And when we were about 14 and 15, the Ital Club didn't serve booze, so it was the only club we could really get into, right? So we used to go to the Ital Club, and the DJ Papa Swai would play these insanely deep cut reggae 12 inches.
Yeah.
Um, the Revolutionaries, Sly and Robbie, Lee Scratch Perry, all that kind of stuff. And every third record we'd go up, he was a really sweet man. He was actually a doctor. And we go, what was that you played? What was that? And he was really patient with us kids. And he's,
Yeah.
well, that was the Revolutionaries, blah, 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 Kingston Dub, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and then almost in a sort of very, I suppose it was quite linear in a way how Adrian Sherwood suddenly appeared out of the mist
Yeah.
a few years later, and bands like the New Age Steppers um, started to be played on the late night radio, and we would hear that kind of stuff. And Adrian Sherwood's production, he was the reggae producer in the UK, as far as I was concerned, and then he
Yeah.
started moving towards a more reggae slash dance direction, and we were so into that. And that's kind of how the Ministry connection happened because Sherwood was working with Ministry, who I'd never heard of,
Yeah.
but anything that he touched, like Keith LeBlanc or anything, I would listen to that music. Um, and so, fast forward to like 1985, we were listening to that kind of stuff as
Wow.
well.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's what started to play in the clubs, the On You sound, this hybrid reggae and electro funk, for want of a better word, but
Mhm.
that was a
Yeah.
word we used back then.
I recall that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the video.
Jawhouse kind of brought me into that scene too. Their love of dub. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
You're good. So the video for your first single off the remastered compilation is for the iconic track "I Want More," originally released on Wax Trax Records.
Yeah.
Uh, Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'll be out Wednesday, August 13th. Why was this song selected to be the lead off the retrospective's release?
Um, I kind of made that decision myself, mainly because we have a 12-inch mix and a 7-inch mix. It's I love our version of that song. I think it's really, really catchy. That song is important to me because Can were one of the first bands I ever got into
Yeah.
because of that song. I Want More was a hit in the UK in late 1976. And although late 1976, we all wanted the Sex Pistols at the same time, Can being on top of the pops playing I Want More was pretty rad.
Wow.
And it sucked me in. So the Finney tribe, we spent a lot of time on that song, and we're really proud of it. And at the time it came out, it's worried the sort of alternative dance charts over here in America. So it kind of made sense to me that it would be a good lead single.
Well, how does it feel to revisit an abundance of music that was just at the beginning of your career?
Feels great. one of one of my biggest regrets is leaving the Finny tribe. I wish I'd stayed for a little longer, but it was necessary to leave. Um, I hadn't heard a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff was recently discovered, and John from the band digitized a bunch of reels for us, and so when I got it remastered, a lot of that stuff was just reels, demos we recorded in our houses or in practice spaces. I hadn't heard it since 1983, 1984. And I have a lot of conviction for the Finny tribe. I think we were really good at what we did and we worked hard at what we did. And we did something that no one else was doing. We pushed certain boundaries. Like I think we pushed the melody far, but we also pushed the percussion really hard as well. And the greatest thing I got from re-listening to that stuff, because I had a lot of the four-track demos isolated, hearing the band members' individual performances, like the bass or the drums or keyboards, and Andy's guitar, well, they were all really good players, but very idiosyncratic. None of us had any kind of training. Um, we learned from each other and we learned how we fit with each other. So hearing that stuff again is it's very formative and very special for me.
That's awesome. So
Mm.
how hands-on were the band in remastering the compilation?
Not really. I mean, I took it upon myself to gather the audio portion, and my friend has a mastering lab here in Chicago called Populist, and I gave it to him. It was vinyl, reels, CD, cassette. It was like a little bit of everything, and I sat down and listened to everything, and basically left it up to him to make it sound good. Um, as far as the band goes, they just trusted me to get on with it and do it. It was my instigation that wanted this to happen. I really wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And everybody in the band is we're all older now and have our own families and things like that, and we've all moved on. And but it was a labor of love. And
Yeah.
now that we've done it, we're pretty committed, and it's nice to be talking to everyone again, I
Yeah.
mean, not that we didn't talk, but it's nice to have a project.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Is there a particular isolated track that stands out above the rest for you while working on this stuff?
Oh, it's Andy's guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, his guitar playing was just otherworldly to me. I mean, his sense of melody and rhythm and his sound as well,
Yeah.
Our songs were not easy to play. They were not easy to play. They're in weird time signatures and
Yeah.
weird time signatures with each other as well. Breaking it down as a whole, you hear it, but when you've broken it down, it's like, how did that guitar line go along with that bass line? How did that happen? It did, but that's
Yeah.
just because we were together in a room for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Man. And so danceable too. It's
We
I-
tried.
yeah. Yeah, and it worked.
Thank you.
Well, the CD release consists of 3 discs, including single
Yeah,
compilation tracks, sessions, and demos. It's an
yeah,
absolute must for any fan of the band. It's wonderful to have everything in one place.
Yeah.
yes,
The CD and vinyl copies consist of 3 beautifully articulated essays written by Alistair McKay, Andy McGregor, and your longtime friend, in addition to overall wonderful human, Shirley Manson.
yes.
Why were they selected to write for this release?
Well, Shirley was a real fan of the band and a really well, she's still a really close friend. And she's a very generous friend as well. She used to come to all the shows and just championed us. You know, she was in her band Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie, and we shared this, you know, worked in the same studio together. We were living out of each other's pockets, all of us. We went to the same bars, the same clubs, you know, we were just a very tight bunch of kids. And so it was obvious to me that she would be the one to write something for it, and she was happy to. Um, yeah, she's lovely. And Alistair Mackay was one of the first people to review the band for his fanzine Alternatives to Valium, which was a really great
Yeah.
fanzine. Um, and he's still knocking around, and he's still writing, and
Yeah.
so we approached him as well.
Well, that's awesome. So Shirley mentions a favorite necklace gifted from you
Yeah,
in the way back. Any
yeah.
particular story there?
Yeah, it's if I can find it, you know, on the first single, there's if you can see this tattoo
Yeah.
on the label of the single, this was the logo. It's like a fish with an eye behind it.
Yeah.
And I had this very close friend to my parents, a jeweler called Andrew Strathy, and I went in with this picture and said, "Could you make this?" And
Yeah.
he said, "Sure," and he made it for me, and I gifted it to Shirley for Christmas one year.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
yeah.
And can you tell us a bit about the artwork and photos included with the CD and the vinyl?
Yeah, well, Andy McGregor, who played guitar in the band, he is has been an artist, a visual artist, his whole life. I've known him since, you know, we've been pals since we were six. And he always took care of the aesthetics and the visuals for the band. So he was the obvious choice. It was a detective work getting a lot of these photos. But once the band sort of went into their attics, the various members of the band, suddenly all this stuff turned up, you know, all these photographs and things like that. And he was tasked with doing the front cover. And Andy had a shirt that Simon, our drummer, had made in art class at his high school. And it was, you know, it was a Finney Tribe shirt that he'd silk screened, and bingo, that was the front cover. It's so Finney Tribe, you know, the images and the colors and everything like that. It kind of sums up the music really, really well. So Andy said, "What about this for the cover?" And I was like, "This is great." And
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Um, and then we had all these a lot of great performance photos as well from when we were like jumping around the stage with with paint and
Yeah.
loincloths on and what have you, pissing
Yeah.
off everybody. We had a lot of these photos too, and they were really we were lucky that we had a lot of close friends who were involved in the arts. Either they were art students or whatever. We were so fucking arty as a band. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. We're such snobs as well. Every other band is shite compared to the Finney Tribe.
Do
I
you
like it.
do you foresee performing with Finny Tribe again in your cards?
I would love to, but it's not going to happen. Uh,
Hmm.
that's just not on the cards. So we'll take this win.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we are without a doubt hugely influenced and driven by our love for Bowie here. And
Mm.
we've got the Starman right here hanging out. I've got some awesome promo stills from with Ryuichi Sakamoto.
Oh,
Good from Merry Christmas, Mr.
yeah,
Levi.
yeah, yeah.
I've got my probably counterfeit fake signed thing here. And even I've got to censor this one because there's ding dongs on it. But I've got the tour
Oh,
itinerary for Tin
oh,
Machine.
nice.
And one I think you might like right here,
Oh, the seven
the
inches?
Fashion 7 inch
Yeah,
singles
yeah,
thing. I've got the full collection on CD and vinyl pretty much. I'm very much looking forward to the new box set, the final error box set coming out.
yeah.
Can you please tell us about your first experience with the Starman and why he means so much to you?
Um, when I was about 10, 9 or 10, I broke my leg. And so I was a very active kid and suddenly I couldn't run around or anything like that.
Oh,
And so I started listening to the radio. Uh, Bowie was already in the sort of common zeitgeist, he was,
yeah.
even if you were a young kid, you couldn't avoid Bowie, you couldn't avoid the Bay City Rollers. Uh,
Yeah.
they were,
Oh, yeah, the Bay City Rollers. I used to watch their show on Saturdays. Yeah.
well, they were from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Side
Yeah.
note, so they were really huge. I, of course, hated them. I had no time for them at all. But I mean, I remember hearing him. I remember hearing things like Life on Mars and Starman when I was very young. And I remember
Yeah.
seeing him Top of the Pops because, that was the most popular show in the world to us. Everybody watched it from a very young age. My uh I remember the moment that I really got into him was when Space Oddity got reissued in and became a hit again late in 1975.
Yeah.
I had this broken leg and I was in hospital, and there was this girl over in a bed over from me, and we had a fight about what we were going to watch on TV. She wanted to watch Top of the Pops, and I wanted to watch something else. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
She won the fight. But Space Oddity was on, and it just that was it. And
Oh,
very soon after that, Golden Years came out, and it's funny. I remember I got it was around about Christmas. I remember I got one of my relatives gave me £1 in a Christmas card, and I wanted to buy Golden Years, and my mum threw a fit. She's like, "No, you're buying a book." And so the book will last you forever. You'll get sick of David Bowie in a week. And so
oh,
one day, not so long ago, I calculated how many times I'd probably listened to Golden Years since it came out, which is like, we're talking like 50 years now. And it was
Jesus.
something like 36,000 times or
Oh
something
my God. Yeah.
insane.
That is
Uh,
a great
I
song.
never ever got tired of it,
Yeah.
I never got tired of it.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just so obsessed with Bowie, like from station to station onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. What did you think of the use of that song in the movie A Knight's Tale?
What?
Or did you even see it?
What's a
A
night
Knight's Tale
tale?
with Heath Ledger and Paul Bettany and Alan Tudyk.
Was it blah, 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 Batman film?
No, 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 no. This was A Knight's Tale was sort of uh, Bettany plays Geoffrey Chaucer in the movie. It's about knights, like actual knights in shining armor.
Author?
Yeah,
No,
he plays
no.
Chaucer. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
it's hilarious. It is absolutely phenomenal.
I
But
had Chaucer forced down my throat by an
oh yeah,
English teacher.
it's a yeah,
Can't
hit a
stand
nerve with that
him.
one. Yeah, fair enough, man. But yeah, they they wanted the feel of the movie instead of playing, period music. They made the music more accessible, and Golden Years is on there for one of the dance scenes. And basically, the idea was that it was the same kind of music. It had the same effect as the music in the period did. It's just different timelines.
Right.
But Google Knight's Tale Golden Years and watch the dance scene with that.
Okay. Well,
And but yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Lots of great British talent in it, and yeah, not sure how you feel about the British talent, but so we have a friend in common, a huge Bowie devotee as well. My friend Jay. She speaks very highly of you and your work with the Sons of the Silent Age. I've seen plenty of videos for it. It's absolutely freaking incredible. I really want to see that band play. What are the chances you might bring that to Seattle at some point, or maybe actually do a full tour.
I don't know. I mean, that 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 kind of thing is so expensive to do. It's prohibitive these days. I'd say if we were all in our 20s, then yeah, there might be a chance that would happen. But uh
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you have a
Well, you're
trust
still doing
fund? Are
shows
you
around
rich?
Chicago with that every once in a while, though, yeah?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
then, yeah,
Uh,
Jay's asked for me to head out there, so I'm gonna make a point of doing that. I've got to visit the museum anyway, so
right. Right.
I'm one of the
Yeah, I
founders for
mean,
that.
we we do it when we can.
Yeah,
But everyone has varying degrees of families, either teenagers or grown up or and jobs and everything like life really gets in the way of rock and roll sometimes.
yeah.
If we could
Doesn't it
travel,
though?
we could travel, we would.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. So if anybody watching has, an incredible amount of money, hit me up. We'll come.
You've heard it, gang. If anybody wants to sponsor, oh, yes, please, please, please.
Hmm.
Chris, what do you feel is Bowie's most underrated album and why?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Hmm. Um, I have a very soft spot for tonight.
Mhm.
I do
Um,
too.
I think there's some great songs on it, and I think his voice is just out of control.
Yeah,
Um, and it's not an album I really listened to that much, but at the time I thought Loving the Alien was an excellent single. I
right.
we
Yeah,
do that song, and it's not an easy song to play. It's not an
no,
easy song to sing, but singing his songs has really given me even more respect for the man, because they're not easy to sing.
yeah, yeah.
So I'd say Tonight is I love that record.
That makes my heart
I,
happy hearing
yeah,
that.
I don't like his version of Tonight with
Yeah,
Tina Turner. I
no,
have no time for that. And but things like Neighborhood Threat
that's a good one. Yeah.
are really, really cool
I
songs.
even Tumble and Twirl
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
got a hook to it. It really does.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you say when you're doing Loving the Alien, which version do you do?
We've done both. We have done the full length version from Tonight, and
Yeah.
we've also done the stripped back version that he did on the live
Reality was it reality?
reality
Yeah.
a reality tour.
Yeah.
And we also have done a hybrid of that as well.
Oh,
We have this thing we do called the Crack Tactor Cabaret. So we'll play at smaller, more intimate venues and change up the material for that, but also we'll take some of the songs we always do and rearrange them for a smaller place. And that's one of them.
oh
Uh,
wow.
you know, we also do This Is Not America, but
Oh my God.
we do the version that is from fuck, what's the play? His last play.
Oh, the
Lazarus? No.
shit.
From Lazarus.
Lazarus, yes.
Yeah, we do the version from Lazarus that the Sophie Anne, the star, sings. It's a great version.
Wow.
We were trying to do a hybrid of that, but it wasn't working too well, so we just kind of adopted that version, and it's
Yeah.
really creepy and understated and cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What did you think of his last album, Black Star?
This is phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal record.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it sounded so like a last album as well.
Yeah. It's
Kind of in the way that You Want It Darker by Leonard Cohen sounded like.
oh
Okay.
my God, yeah.
And I'm New Here by Gil Scott-Heron. You just knew that there wasn't much time left.
Yeah.
You could just tell. But at the same time, you could also tell he had a lot of fun doing it, and he was still pushing boundaries.
He really, really was. Did you happen to listen to it before he passed?
Hmm.
Yeah, because I played it ad nauseum. But the day it came out, I was playing it and playing it, playing it, playing it. A few days later, I got an entirely new version of the album listening to it after
Yeah,
it was a very weird thing. There's in
yeah,
my head, there are two very distinct versions of that album still in there. And
yeah.
I feel pretty privileged to have that, honestly.
It's funny because I think I knew something was up when the video for Lazarus
Mhm.
came,
Yeah,
and he wasn't dead yet, but it looked so
yeah.
final. But then Black Star, the title, the first thing I thought of was the black spots you'll see on an X-ray or
Hmm.
on a you know, when
Yeah,
you're going through radiology or something like that, when you see the troubled spots.
yeah,
That's what I thought Black Star was. And I probably am wrong, but that's what I read into it.
yeah.
Um, and I knew that it was actually Sinead O'Connor who told me that he had cancer like a couple of years before.
Oh, wow.
Her manager had told her, and
Yeah.
th this was kind of about the time where maybe the next day had just come out, but he'd been in retirement.
Yeah. And what tours did you get to see him live on?
I saw him on the Serious Moonlight tour, and then I saw him a few times in the 90s. I didn't see the ISLR tour, which I wish I had. It came to Glasgow, but
Mhm.
it was too expensive and I was 14 and blah blah blah.
Those things happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man. So we met in Seattle briefly back when you and William Tucker came through for the Songs for Swingin' Junkies
yeah.
tour. Got the very lovely 7-inch from that right here. The heartbreaking track Heartburn on it. And absolutely beautiful little 7-inch
Blue.
vinyl. One of my cherished pieces. You have any memories you would like to share from back then? I know it's a little dark at the time, but it sounded like maybe you had a fun story from
That tour was really dark. We're both going through breakups and in a van together, like feeding off each other's bad energy. But we did it and we had fun and we ended up playing in these really strange places. And there's really not, it really wasn't a great time. I was on Wax Trax TVT and TVT, the label, were, kind of making a sport of disagreeing with everything I said, or, not
yeah,
funding this and not funding that, and, whatever.
yeah,
It just made it hard to work at the time.
yeah,
So we did what we could. And yeah, at the time I was like drinking and doing as whatever drugs I could get my hands on. That didn't help anything.
yeah.
Um, but we did it and we got back in one piece.
It was
But
a hell of a fucking time, man. That show was monumental. It really was. I,
thank
I I
you.
can't believe I got to be there for it. It was it's one of the milestones in my world of being an art lover and a music lover. And
Thank you very much. That's well, we got something right then.
yeah, you absolutely fucking did. I know that I think I might have pissed off William that night, trying to commiserate with him a little bit. He was just like, fuck off. And I'm like, all right,
Oh,
all right.
that's so William. He was
And
so
yeah,
New
oh no, I
York.
had heard that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I think he thought I was trying to sell him drugs. I was just basically just trying to say, look, I understand if you need anything, let me know, kind of thing. And
Oh, if you were selling drugs, he would have been your friend.
oh, I probably should have told him. But yeah, no, that might have just led to more issues, but it was a beautiful, beautiful time. And I finally, you
Oh,
know,
cool.
got this sucker on vinyl. Also, this
Oh
Sucker
yeah.
vinyl. Um, Martin and Wax Trax really went over the top on that. But I think my favorite thing
Oh, the yeah.
is
Mark from
the
Wax Trax did that.
yeah. So what's the story with the change from Perkadam Bambalam to Fina Bar Bambalam?
Um, it was going to be called Perkadine Bambalam, and that title came up. Me and William were in a bar in Munich, and you know, it was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We were drunk and looking for drugs. That was just what we did. And
Yeah.
it was something either. I said it to William. I said something like, "Come on, let's go and do the Percodan Bambalan. Let's go out and try and find some pills or something like
Yeah, yeah.
that. Don't do drugs, kids."
Don't
Uh,
do drugs. No.
he said lackadaisically.
Yeah.
Um, and then we were all set. That was the name of the album and everything like that. And then some clown at the label called up whatever pharmaceutical company made it and said, "Hey, can we use your name, the name of your drug, in an album that totally glorifies drugs?" They said no. And so that was like at the 11th hour when things were going to print. I was like, fucking, why did you do that?
Oh
You
man.
know? So we had to change it. And Andy from Finny Tribe he did the cover, and so he
Yeah.
was in Scotland, and it was just one long distance phone call after another, trying very hard. And it was at the sort of very infancy of computer generated art, and he did a really good job, but
Yeah.
it was like a learning process, I suppose.
I'm actually wearing my Phenobar Bambalam
Yeah, I can see
right
that.
now. Um, yeah. So that album came out in a yeah, it wasn't just a dark time for you. And that album got me through a lot of shit, man. A lot of
That's
shit.
great.
And like I said, I feel like I've known you since high school, in some form or another. So it's awesome being able to talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad the record helped. It helped
yeah,
quite a few people. I didn't think that at the time, I
yeah,
did it, and then, I mean, it was just a
yeah,
weird time, you
yeah.
know.
But
I'm lucky that I got to meet
what
you.
a beautiful monument to that time, though.
Thanks.
You know, it's much lighter now.
Yeah, yeah,
You have an incredible group with Mark Gemini Thwaite and Big Paul Ferguson called Seven Dials. Um,
yeah.
guys, check this out. I
Some of
highly
the most
recommend people buy
incredible music I've ever heard. Yeah,
Crash Course in Catastrophe from the 7dials.com. And you just dropped a video for Wolves, which is a sensory overload in addition to a great song overall. How do you feel the video ties into the song?
I think it ties in really well. I loved it when I first saw it. The person who made it is not somebody I'm friends with. It's one of Mark's friends, but passed on the lyrics, and this is what he came up with. Um, and it sums up a lot of I suppose, the isolation and the fear and tension that I wanted to generate through the lyrics of that song and through my voice. And he got it really well. I feel really it's a scary video. I find it very strange to look at. It's like a weird dream, um, a bad dream, and that's exactly what the song is. It kind of represents, I suppose.
yeah.
It came from I got that title. The title was "Where the Wolves Fuck," or "The Place Where the Wolves Fuck," and that came from this British drama called Fortitude, um, and it all takes place in the Arctic Circle. And there are places where wolves go to fuck.
Mm,
Um, but watching that and watching these sort of polar vistas, it was really kind of existential in a sense. Like, I remember talking to my wife about it, looking at these mountains, saying, "These mountains, I bet you no human has ever been on that mountain there. I
yeah.
bet." it's it was kind of awe-inspiring in a way, and that was kind of the seed of the lyric for that song. And I think the guy who did that video just grabbed that feeling really, really well and ran with it.
I'm kind of holding out, hoping for a Seven Dials show in the future. Do you think that could happen?
Yeah, I do. I think
That's,
that could
oh,
happen.
thank you,
It's
Chris.
hard to drag me away from my house, but yeah.
So we have Phil Owen from the Skate Nigs and Revco on in about 2 weeks. Can you
Mhm.
provide us with a solid Fildo story?
A solid Fildo story?
Mhm.
Uh, fuck. Uh, well, I mean, I, I don't know. He's just a guy in the band, man. We toured Europe together. I mean, his band at the time, they were one of the first. Oh, I'll tell you a Fildo story. He fucking scared the shit out of me when I first went to Texas with the Revolting Cocks in
Yeah.
1987, or maybe it was early 88. We flew into Houston with all our gear. Fildo picked us up in a van and drove us to Austin, where the first show was.
Yeah.
And he had a CB radio, and he was on the CB radio yelling at truckers and being really, really out of order. And
Oh my
I
God.
was petrified. I was like, what have I got myself into?
You
And
know
I
they
think
can
one,
triangulate that stuff and find you. Yeah.
well, at one point, I think he drove over the median and did a U-turn back because
Oh
one of the
wow.
truckers, I'm gonna kick your motherfucking ass. Like, I haven't got to play in Texas yet, and I'm going to be dead. You
Oh my
know?
God.
I was 22 or something like that.
I grew up in the South, and we used to have squelch hunts. Where everybody had CB
Okay.
radios. You just squelch, 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 and then the other cars would try to find you based on where your squelch was coming from. So
Whoa.
yeah, yeah, they give you another little nightmare there.
I can't believe how much of a bullet I dodged there. I mean, literally, they probably would have just shot me straight out. Texas in the 80s, and I was just fresh off the boat.
Yeah, yeah, man,
One of the most alluring things about you, Chris, are the lyrics you pen. Do you have
for
a
sure.
particular approach that influences your writing style?
Um, I can't say that, but I'm a voracious reader. I enjoyed reading books very much, and through that, I have been lucky enough to be exposed to a lot of different authors' ways of using language and a lot of authors' ways of conveying an idea through an impression using the English language. And I guess when I write lyrics, they come quite fast and furious, and I do it so much that there's certain not tricks that I know, but I certainly know where not to go with lyrics. I know what I don't like um, in lyric writing, and I think lyric writing is a very special and precious way of people being able to express themselves in popular music. And I see it, I've written a lot of what could be considered as anti-war or anti-fascistic lyrics, but I won't necessarily go the obvious route. I think it's good to use language to maybe convey ideas that might make people think, that might have their heads bend around the language I'm using. I don't want to be completely obtuse. That's not the idea. I'm not trying to be clever at all, but words are great,
Words
and
are
there's a
great.
lot
Yeah.
of them. And I also really think hard about the rhythm I'm writing for,
Mhm.
especially if, say, I'm collaborating with someone and they've come up with a melody and a rhythm and I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. Then I have to think hard about how are we gonna approach this rhythm? This is a good rhythm, and there you have it. I'm not writing books so much, but
Yeah.
the way I structure lyrics, I don't settle for anything but what I think is the best. And
Mhm.
my own bar is set very high. I don't look to other lyricists for direct in inspiration, but if I write a lyric that I think is maybe not cutting it, then it's gone.
Yeah.
Rethink it.
Yeah. No, I really love your writing style, your command of words. I'm a writer too, and I do appreciate using words in ways that they're not necessarily normally used. You know, put something in there. I think I was trying to convey something, and more on an ox, the weight is crushing, I think is one of the lines that I wrote. It's basically a play on oxymoron
Uh-huh.
and the thought behind an oxymoron. And
Right.
so, warping things around a little bit like that, just to, it made me think more. And the people that I really appreciated the writing styles of also made me think more when I was reading. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've got that in spades. I dig it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, I think one of the things about lyrics is that they're such an integral part of, for want of a better word, for of a rock song. But I don't. I think that then there is a light shining on them because of that. I think a
Mm,
lot of authors, like if you're reading a story and X happens to person A, blah blah blah. There's a story. People
yeah,
go places, blah blah blah. You have to also appreciate how that author writes that.
yeah,
They're not writing, well, we did this and then they did that. And in a rock song, it's only three or four verses, right? And it's there to behold. And I get a lot of praise for what I write, and I really appreciate it. But to be able to sustain that for an entire novel, wow.
Oh my God. No, I do more excerpts of a fever dream kind of writing. Some people are like, "Well, this seems like a page out of something larger," and I'm like, "That's because I don't really have the patience for something larger." So, so that's fucking awesome, man. Um, a question we regularly ask of our guests: what is your earliest memory of art having a profound effect on you?
Probably my father putting up a blackboard for me in the kitchen
Oh wow.
of my house, and it became really obvious to me. And I don't know if I was so young, I don't remember if it was he who said it to me, that, I could have new pictures all the time if I wanted now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I
That's
was,
deep.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
remember it, and it was on the wall, and it's like I could draw a car, and then 10 minutes later or less,
Yeah.
draw a train, or draw people or something like that. That was when I realized that you were kind of in control um of your cultural output. I don't know. I mean, to me, and because of that, I don't think I've ever been bored. Um, I didn't need input from anything around me at that time. And I mean, I was a kid, so I needed input
Yeah.
from other stuff, of
Yeah.
course. It was like, Mommy, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But sit me down with a pad of paper and crayons, and yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
What a wonderful time that was when TV was limited to three channels.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
there was none of it was for kids, really. There was maybe 15 minutes a year for children or something.
Yeah. Oh my God. And
You were
sometimes
left to
even
your own
sometimes
devices.
even those 15 minutes were full of adult only jokes.
Yeah. So being left to your own devices, to me, that's when I mean I think that the profound effect on me was when I realized I could do it myself,
Yeah,
you know, that it
that's a great
wasn't.
answer.
And I was very lucky because when punk came along, that was just reinforced.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you can do it yourself. And then bands started doing their own records and, you know, opening their own labels or what have you.
yeah,
Um, when you know that you can, and I'm still the same, when you know you can create what you want, not necessarily caring that anyone will ever get to listen to it or want to listen to it,
yeah,
but you do have that option to get that out of your system. Like that's me at the blackboard in my kitchen drawing traffic lights,
yeah.
Always. It's the same thing, I've done it. I'm going to wipe it off in a few minutes, but I did it. I got it out of my system.
Awesome, man. So, is there anything else you would like to talk about, or perhaps even any artists that you think should be on our radar that you'd like to promote?
Um, I've been listening to my favorite artist I discovered through a friend of mine is a girl called Clarissa Connelly. She has the same last name as me and the same initials. And she's lives, I believe she lives in Finland by way of Scotland. She's Scottish born and lives in Finland. Young, but uh some of the most incredible music I've heard for a long time. She has an album called Life of Work on Warp Records, I believe. And it's just the strangest, most beautiful music I've heard for a long time. That said, I continually hear new things that I'm excited by.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky. I get to hear that, and we all do. I mean, it's whatever is happening with the world, creativity is still boiling away, and
yeah,
it's there, and that makes me very happy. And not to go off on a tangent about AI, but there's some things AI will never be able to do.
yeah,
They just won't be
yeah.
able to do it. Ha ha.
So, along those lines, do you have any words of wisdom or support and whatnot for the younger set that's coming into this world and wanting to be fighting against the oppressive nature of our existence at the moment?
I mean, if you're young and you're creative, and I know a lot of people who are young and creative, settle for, don't settle, I mean, don't settle at all. Don't
Yeah,
rest. Just keep going. If you're creative, there's not really you can't tell what path you're going to go down, and you can't tell what's going to come out of you. And you probably will surprise yourself and other people. Um, and if you don't have any money, don't let that stop you.
yeah,
Uh, you will always find something to be creative about. And I've never had any sort of major success that has allowed me to stop working and do this full time. And I'm glad of that because then the free time I do have is very precious. And when I have the time to create, I'll do it. Um, and if you if you don't feel like it, go away and come back to it later.
mhm,
I've never been one to really entertain the idea of writer's block. I think there's just creativity is dependent on your mood and how you feel and whatever your spirit wants to do, it's there. Um, so don't ignore it.
yeah. Excellent.
Excellent. Well, Chris, speaking with you about your music and life has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. It's really nice speaking to you
Yeah,
both.
yeah,
With going over projects you've done like Ministry, Revco, Pigface, Cocksure, Damage Manual, Acid Horse, Murder Inc., and your illustrious solo career, just to name a mere few, we barely have time to scratch the surface. Sincerely hope at a later date you'd be down to speak with us about other music you've been a part of.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Nope.
Yeah. So kiddos, the new Finney Tribe compilation will be out on October 10th. Please follow Chris Conley's Bandcamp page or Finney Tribe and Finney Tribe on Facebook for details. Keep up with this release. Gems and Germs, this episode is dedicated to our dear friend Jason Lupo. May he rest in peace. As our time gets more and more surreal, please remember this is what we've been trained for. This is where our punk rock roots come into play. Resistance is never futile. Stand up for the oppressed, kick hard against the pricks, or you don't dare let the bastards win. You got that? We just don't. Okay? Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. If you're hurting, please don't do it in silence. Hug everyone. Make art, make music. Show you give a fuck when others do not. Keep loving your hearts, my friends, and a fight along with it. Solidarity, people. Love, hugs, and belly rubs. Cheers.